Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cha Cha Mystique, and you now tune into Live at Radio for another amazing show. We got the legendary Illa Ghee definitely in the building, and we're going to get to know who Illa Ghee really is, the mathematical, scientific from hip hop, and we're going to get to it. So go get your smokes, go get your drinks, go get your snacks, and we'll be right back with it, though.
And I hear him say, and I hear him say, and I hear him say, I hear him say, and I hear him say, when they shoot.
Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So strikers, no strike me.
Yes, strikers don't strike me with your hating asses. And without any further ado, we got Illa Ghee definitely in the building.
How art thou?
How art thou? I like that. You know what I noticed? Watching you and stuff like that. You very intellectual in your interviews. Like, you talk about how you come from a very hood street background, and you talk about your prison stories and different things like that. But then when I'm listening to you, the way you speak so eloquent and actually smart, intelligent. And, that's something you wouldn't expect. You would normally get the yo, what up, and a whole bunch of sweet slang, but you very well converse. Where is that coming from?
I mean, I always did. I mean, I'm just because I came from a bad street background doesn't mean I was a good kid in school before things happened in the street. I know how to speak. I just don't want to sound like everything doesn't have to be slang. I speak slang enough every day.
Yes, that's a whole.
This is just how I normally speak around friends, around new people, everything. So it's not like anything different. I always spoke like this.
Yes. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the intellectual so-called gangsters. Well, hopefully retired gangsters. I really
don't even know what that is. What is that?
Oh. Exactly. But I do appreciate that duality because I'm like that, Mm-hmm. So you're the scientific, mathematical.
It's the incredible mathematics of rap.
Okay, I'm sorry. The incredible mathematics of rap. And I noticed that your logo, it is math stand for.
All right. So the logo is the atom, and the gas mask is how deadly my lyrics are. So it's it's math and deadly lyrics put together.
Okay. Now let me ask you, because you normally hear mathematics and stuff like that in people's convo when they are like 5%ers, God bodies, and things like that. So what is your school of thought coming up that made you intellectual, that have you the knowledge of atoms and science and being intellectually savvy when it comes to your bars?
Well, I actually, the 5% stuff I studied when I was like 13, 12, somewhere around there. But I'm a big fan of constantly learning things. I love to learn things new. I'm a big fan of origins, so I read a lot and look things up a lot.
And I could tell with your bars, listening to a lot of your earlier work, especially with Sean P. I think, you doing work with him really brought out those bars in a way. And I kind of understand because you would talk about, how you guys will make sure y'all, things like that. So you said you read a lot. What is your top 5 books that molded your mind to be the barbarian you are?
I mean, it's so many different things. I can't give a top 5. I know one of them is One of them is healing is what is that? Healing is the new health, or I'm sorry, I don't want to mess it up, but um, that a rich dad, poor dad. It's so many different books. I've when we were colored, it's different books I've read. I can't give you a top five, but it's a lot of them.
Yes. And like I said, I appreciate that. Now, going, I just want to get to know who you are. Like, I know you were saying that you started at the age of 9 with your brother and your cousin and different things like that. But what was the moment that really made you take your rap career serious and you wanted to be an artist?
After I went to jail,
Yeah, you hang that up real
once I
quick.
went to jail, I was like, give it a shot because I was just I was in like super survival mode back then, and I just didn't want to. I didn't. I hated the feeling of being broke, so I used all my energy for the wrong way of thinking. Let's say that.
Yeah. But one of the things that you said on multiple interviews was when you was growing up, especially when you hit junior high school and high school, you was always scared. You know, right now we living in a time where a lot of people are talking about mental health and different things like that. And it seems like, and this is my opinion, the way you was explaining it, like if you were suffering from some kind of social anxiety, what was the first moment or experience you had that ignited that fear and carried with you?
I mean, it was just that I would feel my mom's pretty much like protected us from a lot of things. So we didn't see it, and my mom's just like literally a fighter, and I just, I had nobody there to teach me how to like, I knew who my pops was, but it's not like he taught me how to fight. I had to learn that through trial and error, fighting in the street all the time. At some point, you just get tired. You know what I'm saying? You just get tired. So, as far as the feeling, it was just like, it was a dangerous time, and it was just like things going on. So, I, I just, I didn't. I was a young kid. I didn't have the heart then, and I had to come to realize like I should have been scared. I was a kid. I was a child. I was a child, and things made me grow up fast. And once I lost that innocence, it was a whole different monster.
So was it like seeking, was you getting bullied a lot and different things like that?
Yeah, yeah. It was a dude in my building. Like when I moved over here, bullied. Like I actually fought this person. We best friends now, but I actually fought this person for 2 years. That we was over here. Like when I started coming outside, and then and it was just back and forth because sometimes he'll see me with his sister or two sisters, and he'll chase me or what's the name. After the got to the point of me fighting back, or I'll see him when I'm walking with my brother, and being with my brother pumped me up, and I whip his ass, and that went on for years, for like 2 years. And
Yeah.
then it just as I got older, it just got to the point like all the bullshit stops.
Yes. So what was the moment that made you not live in fear anymore? Because it had to be a moment. Like when I listen to your music, you sound very confident. Even, when I see you talking and other things, you're very confident as well as eloquent. So what was the moment that snapped you out of that
It
anxiety?
was a very selfish moment that turned everything around. It was a selfish moment of my mother promised me something if I brought in good grades, and she couldn't do it. And at that moment, I was like, all right, I felt like I was a burden. So I felt like I need to do it myself. And that's when everything changed. The next day, the very next day, I robbed somebody.
And you didn't have no fear in doing that.
Didn't look back.
Mm. When you look back at your behaviors early on, dealing with that type of social anxiety and stuff like that, is there anything that you would have changed in that situation, or you feel like, it made you?
Yeah, to a certain point, it made me. Because here's a saying that I learned that that resonates with me amazingly. That it took a lot of violence to become this calm. So it's just like, I always had a good heart, always was nice to people, or so on and so forth. But you know, I would say a part of my mother was like, once that part came out, like, I like, really, if you really knew my mom's was a sweetheart too, but my mom's was literally a fighter, literally. And once that side came out, it was just like, that's it.
It was no looking back. Now, another thing that I really enjoy about you is your album titles. Your album titles is crazy. I got a list right here. I'm gonna name a few, and I want
Hmm.
you to tell me, what was you thinking? What was your mind? Does it come from a specific experience or what? So, what is fried apple juice? What is
All
that?
right, fried apple juice. All right, I'm gonna explain this. Like, most of my titles come from feelings, right? Or just about my music or how I rhyme. So, fried apple juice. Do you know, like, I'm just saying that my lyrics, do you know how thick your lyrics have to be to fry it? You cannot fry liquid. So I'm just saying that my words are so on another level that you can fry apple juice.
All right, I'm gonna name another one. Um, angel dust and waffles.
Good food that drives you crazy. See, a lot of people make it like, we call it microwave food. Like, it's no real subject to the consonant. So, you know, it's just good food that drives you crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. You know, and I need to eat some food like that. So what is a plate that drives you crazy? What is the meal that would inspire that?
My I got quite a few crack cocaine. My crack cocaine is macaroni and cheese. If you do not know how to make macaroni and cheese, don't speak to me.
Oh, I
Don't
know how to
talk to me.
make macaroni and cheese, so I'm glad
Don't
you're speaking to me.
don't talk to me. Really, like, my brother makes a mean, what macaroni salad. Like,
I
that's that.
love macaroni
I
salad.
love spinach. I mean, I love spinach as a child, so that's not really. But what else? What else? What else? It's too, like, it's soulful, but I can't eat it as much as I once did. So,
Mm,
and carrot cake.
okay. Carrot cake is Jesus and better drugs. First of all, before you answer that, how you put those? That's like an oxymoron. Like, how you put Jesus and drugs in the same title?
All right,
But go ahead, explain that.
all right. One, well, so it's just like my words, my my words and my music is so much on another level, right? Right. It's so foul that you're either going to need Jesus or you're going to need better drugs.
I like that. And I get it because before I go to the next one, because like when artists normally title their album, they usually have a title track. And a
Hmm.
lot of times you didn't have that. So I'm like, what the hell does he mean by this? I don't get it. But I get it now. I get it. And the last one, denim malt liquor. What is denim malt liquor?
Dinner malt liquor, basically, let's get past all the fashionable bullshit with the album color, the album cover, and the promotion and all that. And the malt liquor, in hip hop, bad is not being bad, bad is being good. So malt liquor is actually terrible for you. But in hip hop, this is how potent my lyrics are. It is the malt liquor. So let's just get past, tear the album cover off. That's like having on fashionable clothes. Let's tear all that off and let's get to the malt liquor so you can get drunk off my lyrics.
Yes, that's a fact. So moving forward, a lot of people thought that you really came from Queens because your association with, Mobb Deep and different things like that. And I know Brooklyn is very prideful. I consider Brooklyn my second home, even though I'm from Harlem. I stay in Brooklyn for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I interview a lot of Brooklyn artists. So, knowing the pride that Brooklyn has, was it ever like a dilemma? Did your family or people in your community felt some type of way and felt like you wasn't repping Brooklyn hard enough?
No, they a lot of people from around my way knew me for a different thing. So it was no issue.
Okay. And I'm glad it wasn't because, Brooklyn, y'all go hard. And shout out to the Decepticons. I had to
Okay,
wear
nice.
my jersey. I wore it just for you too, because I had it nice in the plastic. And I'm like, what the hell am I wear? And I'm like, oh, because of, Sean Price and everything like that. So I thought it'd be a perfect moment to
Yeah,
rock it.
we
And
got to
I'm
get you
taking
an
it
Illa
right
Ghee
off as soon
we
as
got
we
to get you an Illa Ghee t-shirt so you can have that.
yeah. I do. I'm gonna order it. I was looking at your line and I really like it. As a lot of it was the album covers, but I really want the science one, the science, your logo,
Uh-huh.
because that's what I'm about. People call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think, you will appreciate that, especially being around Prodigy. Now, what was that like, since we was talking about people thinking you were a Queens rapper, what was that relationship like? And how was those conversations? Because I know he was an ill thinker, and judging by the way you converse and spit your bars, I know you were ill thinker too. So, what would be the things that y'all would converse about intellectually, or possibly debate about, or disagree on?
It wasn't really a debate or disagreement. It was just like we was in a real learning phase and learning stage. So, before anybody really cared about the conspiracy theorist thing, yeah, we used to be on that, like breaking down the symbolisms of what certain things mean, like on the flag. I think the New York State flag is one of them flags that got, it's a man stepping on a king chest, and we was trying to figure out what that mean and all these words mean. So we did that a lot.
Yeah, did a lot of studying together.
Yeah, just looking up certain things like, yo, this shit look crazy. Look at this. What do you think this symbol mean? And
Well, what
people
was one of
putting,
those that like really blew your mind? Like when you did your research and you found out the definition and stuff like that. What was a topic or a symbol that really blew your mind when you learned the
I
truth?
mean, certain things like the Washington Monument and how Washington, basically, it's like a the Star of David, but they changed a lot of things. They changed the meaning of it for them. And the owl, if you can, you can see the owl, but they got black people to build it, and the symbolism and the whole thing of DC, and so many things that you can see that's like pretty obvious once you wake up to it.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now, I don't want to spend too much on Prodigy, but since we talking about the conspiracy theories, and I hear you always say how he used to come to your house to hide out when he was tired and different things like that. And then reading his book, he will always talk about shadows appearing, him being confronted by aliens, different things like that. And looking at his later interviews before his untimely demise, he was speaking more about the truth. And even his last album after his death was, the evolution guy and all of that. Do you feel like, and then he also talks about hip hop police, him being targeted in that manner. Now, it's one thing to run away from the noise of everybody's opinions and different things like that, but do you think partly was him running from those certain shadows, or him feeling like,
Nah, nah, not at all. Like sometimes it used to be a lot, and sometimes he just needed to escape. Like he would just sleep all day. Like he'd come to the crib, chill out, and would pass out, and you know he would just sleep. I go outside, I'd be outside, crib, my mom's here, everything would be he would be knocked out. Then he would just, go to the store, buy underwear and shit, take a shower, pass out again. I'm talking about like he used to be tired. And he don't answer his phone. Labels used to call my crib. Yo, you seen P? No. Like he was like really tired, like tired. He wouldn't hang. He wouldn't hang. Like sometimes he came over here for a summer and he hung out. But when he was tired and he needed a break, nobody knew where he was. He would be here, sleep. And I'm talking about at least like the longest, maybe like a week and a half. The shortest, maybe about 5-6 days. But he used to I'm talking about knocked out. Like get up, eat, chill. I'd be like, yo, I'm going outside. And he would pass out again, like knock out. So it would like pretty much like rejuvenate himself, pretty much. And that's why I was seeing like, damn, my dude is tired. Like he's tired.
Now, I heard you mention when people were talking or asking you questions about his mural, you felt like maybe he shouldn't have said certain things. Do you feel like he was a little bit too loose in his book or too loose in his perspective with other people in his life, especially in the industry at that time?
I mean, I could just say I would have never made a book like that, but I do understand where he's coming from, why he made that book. Because he like even when he got a deal, I learned later on is when they asked him, is like, why do you want a deal? He was like, yeah, I just want to make music and do everything before I die because of his sickle cell trait. So a lot of things his ideas, he just want to get his ideas out. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew how possibly the sickle cell trait will, probably knock him down.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now, going back to the conspiracy, because I have my own, feelings about his untimely demise. Do you feel like it was eggs or whatever it is that they were
Everybody
saying in
asked
the
him
news?
that. It just tells the last thing he ate. They didn't choke it. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes when you sleep on your back, if you vomit, there's no way for the vomit to come out, so it'll choke. So I really have no thoughts on that.
Because only reason why I asked, because there was a lot of conspiracy things. He did the interview. Everybody knew he was always a revolutionary type of thinker throughout his career. He always had something to that effect in his bars at times outside of the hood tales. And then, when you see how he was maturing, and I'm glad I was covering that situation. I was able to be at the Blue Note Jazz Club when he had the residency. Shout out to Chinky QB and Big Twins. And I got to spend my birthday, and we were just covering his whole thing for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then he passes away. And I just started doing this at that time. And it was just like mind blowing how everything went down, especially me being such a fan and always seeing him in my life at some point, because me and Chinky, we're family, so I always had that kind of thing going on, and it was just like puzzling. Where were you when you found out he was no longer here with us?
I forgot what I was doing. I just remember I got a text from Twin, and he texted me, and he was just like, "Yo, hit me back." And he texted again and was like, "Yo, hit me back." Then the third one, he was like, "Yo, hit me back. It's bad." And when I called him, he was like, "Yo, P gone." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yo, P is gone." And it was just like, word. He was like, "Yeah." It was like, I just spoke to him like the day before. Like he was just, feeling good again from the sickle cell thing. And He
Yeah,
passed.
I saw you broke down, and it was shocking to me because it felt like he was getting his second win again. You know, he had the
Yeah,
residency.
he was eating a lot better. He was doing a lot of things better.
Yeah, he had the residency at the Blue Note that spring.
Hmm.
He did Summer Jam, I think, and then he was in Las Vegas. Oh, yeah. So it was like a lot going on, and it was so good to see because I'm like, yeah, he's doing it, like And if it's to end like that, I think that was so trash. I think that was so fucking trash. That's why I could believe a conspiracy theory, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're getting your second win, you're in front of the public eye now, and you actually speaking out, against a
Hmm.
lot of different things that he studied throughout his years. But he's not just doing it as a street dude no more. You saw the elevation in his maturity and his mindset for him to speak like that, and people actually take him seriously on top of the fact that he already have such a huge fan base. And one thing, a lot of these entities don't like is when you're able to change the mind of the people. They'll try to silence you so bad. And the way, he left this world, it felt like that. It felt like that was the reason. I'm still kind of disappointed about that whole shit. And everything that we've been going through these past 3 years, he would have been a perfect figure to be speaking up loud. I would love to hear what he would have had to say about what's been happening. Well, how do you feel about that?
About what? About
His stance, with the things that's happening now, the wars, the pandemics, the this, the that. Like it seems like we're constantly being bombarded with fuckery, basically. How do
you know,
you
it's
feel he
always
would
been
have stood on this?
there. This ain't nothing new. That's always been there. I know it. We all know it. If you want to believe it or not, a lot of people just don't want to believe it, or if not even fact believe it, because believe means to not know, not being sure. But you see it, you could see it. But a lot of people is just, they think for some reason they think our government has their best interests, but no. They need to understand this is a republic. This is a business. This is not the land of America is an office building. If you can get that metaphor, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I call it a factory. I call it a factory. It's like the factory of the world for some reason. I see it as a factory. But I get what you're saying. I could definitely dig that. Yeah, so outside of and rest in peace to Prodigy. His birthday's coming up, November 2nd next month. Shout out to him and his family, especially Santana Fox. I love what his daughter is doing. She's
Hmm.
very artistic. I really like following her on social media. I just want to send a shout out to everybody, Mob Deep, the Infamous, and everything like that. Now, moving forward, since we're talking about those that's passing, I might as well stay there before we move on to the next thing. So I do want to talk to you about New York Minute, but Sean Price. Now, the last, yes, stand up a little bit. I need to see it. I need to see it. Yes, New York Minute. What matter of fact, since we already here, is there going to be a season 3?
Yes, we did start filming. It is. It will be a season 3.
Okay. Okay. And I really enjoyed we got a lot of freakiness. Like you had the little lesbian scene. I kind of enjoyed
Out of
that.
all of that, that's all you remember is
No,
those two
I
things.
remember the office scene. I'm like, oh, it's because I thought it was gonna be all hood. Like I didn't know
Hmm.
you was gonna get, have a little romance and stuff. And it was kind of ratchet because bitch, how the fuck you fucking the office nigga, and then you got this nigga paroled in your house. And I kind of like the parole dude. He was cute and everything. So I'm like, how you gonna do that taboo thing? Because the office nigga, he looked like a little prick, like he had prick in him and shit.
See,
You
but
know.
y'all don't. Y'all, the thing y'all not understanding is that her and Deuce were high school sweethearts. That's the love of her life. But he just was a street dude. He was sentenced to 56 years. Was she supposed to wait for him?
I mean, she should have married him and had like conjugal visits. Like there's ways, goddamn it. She should have wore a skirt with no panties at the visit and let that nigga do whatever under the table. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I want to be in it. I need you need to have like an episode. I need to be like somebody to come in there and rob things. But what I do appreciate too is how you was touching on certain issues that a lot of people do be quiet about. In the hood, you know, you have like the old perverts. What's his name again?
Uncle Vince.
Uncle Vince fucking on that little girl like that. And then how you fucking on her and fucking the moms? Like you was ODing, old man. Like he was, you know, I was kind of happy he got done up like that. What I didn't appreciate was his ass crack in the scene, but I got it. So I got it. Yeah. So you know, was these things inspired by things that you experienced growing up?
What, New York? Well, basically, Deuce is mainly me. Deuce is really me because coming home from jail and you wanting to change your life, and you know, you kind of want to tell your friends about things that's going on, but you know, I remember quite a few of my friends wasn't too happy that I didn't want to get back into the streets, but they seen I was serious, so they, you know, they respect it, let it be. But you know, New York Minute is about change and how hard it is to change in a hostile urban environment. Everybody has their things of what they want to change or what they want. Their goals is like Deuce. Deuce want to makes everything straight with everybody he's done wrong, and he wants to leave the game. But he's very naive to understand that he hasn't really changed. He thinks he's changed, but he hasn't. Simone is looking for love because her father worked a lot. And, you know, the only one that really showed a true, genuine love was Deuce, but he happens to be a street guy. So, you know, she wants to be in a career. She has a career and everything. So she has to fight with that dynamic of, you know, career or love. You got Frizz who wants to be a millionaire but has no clue how to do it. So he would chase the dollar bill. He has abandonment issues. You have Trav, of course, has the family secret. You know what I'm saying? Or he just feels like he was abused as a child. And, you know, he felt the most beautiful thing in the world is his two sisters. And he doesn't want that to be corrupted like him for anything. But yet, one of the
Yeah, I
sisters,
like his relationship with the, especially with the younger sister. I like that overprotectiveness that, you
yeah,
know, he
have the
showed
same
her.
attitude. They have the same. And then you have Mars, who's trying to connect with his family because he's been led to believe for years that he's been adopted.
That, you know, that's crazy. Now, you know, you have other people like Money and Violence. Oh, but before I talk about that, I want to shout out to Lord Nez and Worldorama. They were both in the series. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Worldorama. I mean, Lord Nez had more of a prominent character or prominent role in it,
You
and
know, Lord
Worldorama.
Nez, look, the part
Okay.
Lord Nez play, I was supposed to be Prodigy.
I can see that. I could now that you said that, I could see that. Piccolo, I think that's his name was Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, what? Because okay, when I was watching it, right, his girl committed suicide, but then she was in the next episode. So can you elaborate? What was that?
Look at the
Like, was it
title
a
of
dream?
the title of the episode is called "The Moment I Fear." I took that from Slick Rick. So,
Aha.
the moment I fear, everybody in that episode, it was their fear. So Simone feared that Deuce and the dude she at her job would bump into each other and somebody would get hurt. That was her fear. Trav feared that his sisters would change their mind and tell on him about what he did with his uncle. And for Piccolo, his fear was that his, you know, girl would get tired of his shit and would commit suicide.
Now I got
And
it.
Frizz fear was that, you know, that they would turn him in for, you know, for the body that he was blamed for in Poughkeepsie. So he feared that his best friend and his girl would turn him in to the police. Only
Now
the
I
first
get it.
episode, so only the first 8 minutes of the show is reality. That's why if you look at it, you can tell they're dreaming because it goes into black and white because they say we dream in black and white. So that's when the black and white flashes, just to let you know that part was a dream.
Okay, now I got it. And I kind of that shit was sad. Like, damn, she blew her. I thought she was gonna kill this nigga. Like, you broke motherfucker. I can't take it no more. I'm tired of eating ramen noodles. Bah. But then she turned the gun on herself, and I'm like, no, sweetheart. Like, you whoever. I mean, of course, it's you. You written and directed everything, and your
The
mom
first
is
season,
incredible.
yes. The second season, I had help. The
Okay.
second season is my boy David Braff helped me on the camera.
Okay. Yeah, so shout out to Lord Nez. That's my bro. I knew him for quite some time now, a few years, and everything like that. So when I saw him and I was binge watching it, I'm like, oh shit, look at Lord Nez. And then it made sense when I saw you at the graffiti Hall of Fame. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that right, but it's my block. So and then Worldorama, I knew him too for a few years now. When me and him got a good rapport with each other. So when I saw him too, I got excited, like, oh, these are my peoples up in here. I'm like, when's the next casket? Because I gotta go. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Especially since Brooklyn is my second home. I gotta do it. Did you ever have to go through like permit
No,
struggles and different things like that?
no.
Okay. So going back to the question that I was gonna ask, because you have other web series that are going to Tubi, like Money and Violence. Right now they're going to Tubi. So what are the future plans? You said you're starting to shoot the season 3. So is it gonna still be on YouTube, or are you looking to do it
Yeah,
on a new
well,
platform?
I will let everybody know when everything is in stone and everything is figured out. So
Well,
I
I'm looking
will say
forward to
nothing. I will
season
say
3.
nothing right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that you were saying about web series was there was a lot of trash shit out there, you know. And I do like the way your web series was shot because, no shade to Money and Violence, but y'all did have a few episodes that were kind of choppy as far as production is concerned. Where did you get that knowledge to do that, the way you did it? And
Uh,
how long did it take you to shoot a season?
a season, it took a while. Like I had no clue. I read a book about writing about characters in jail, and I understood that you need to give. You're basically God with the character. So you just can't just make a character and that's it. So, you have to give them a first name, a middle name, a last name, who's their mother, who's their father, where did they go to school, what's their favorite color. You need to know all this because it helps round out the character. Now, on top of that, the reason I say these things is because, a lot of these shows, they can't tell you what the show is about and what they're trying to say. So, like I said, the New York Minute is about change and how hard it is to change in a hostile urban environment. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. You're in survival mode all the time. Also, the characters have no goals. They just there. Like, my characters do wrong things, but it's not about that. It's about what's going on in their lives, not what they're doing.
Now, I know that web series and wearing that director, writer, producer hat is different from being an artist, a hip hop artist. What are some of the challenging things that you had to face while in production?
Just really pretty much it's like you don't have control of the area because you don't have no permits. Really getting people together because everybody works, so a lot of times you got to try to get dates and figure out times when everybody that's in the scene or working with each other, get them together. And you know the first quite a few people in the first season, they were, everybody wasn't really natural actors. The only actors that I picked up was Trav baby sister, Trav older sister, Trav mother, the guy that played the Simone guy at work, because he's now in, he did quite a few things.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
seemed like a
Give y'all
natural.
Joseph. So he's in Sativa now
Yeah,
on
he seemed like
BT.
a natural, his poise, different things like that. Because Well, I think when when people looking at it, or when people are acting, especially for the first time, you don't talk like that. You don't, you don't talk like that. And you starting to see, people put that extra on like facial expressions and things like that. And it's not just you. It's just just watching web series. Period. But yeah. So you got to be some type of perfectionist because you always talking about killing some shit, right? So looking back at those episodes, is there anything that you would change?
I
And
did. There's a re-edit version of season one. I try to get everybody to look at the re-edit version because the first season I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. And so, the first season, the first time, like episodes were short because I didn't understand that one page equaled a minute of screen time. So in my mind, I thought I was writing a little bit too much. But then after we filmed them, I was like, damn, this shit short as a shit short. So, once I learned that, one page is a minute of screen time, that's when you see the episodes getting longer and so on and so forth, and me getting more knowledgeable of you know, what's going on and how to film things. Like you can see that evident in season two, and a little bit more like towards the end of season one. Like if you pay attention to when we introduced Trav and his moms. Now you don't really pay it no mind, but if you look at that scene, whenever the mother talks, I show her and Trav in the same shot. Reason being is because she's trying to have a connection with her son. But when he spoke, I showed him by himself, showing that he has no connection with his mother. Now, you're not naturally going to get that, but I had to learn that from studying of how to film. So you have to learn how to tell the story with the camera, let alone the words.
yes, and them angles is everything. I like a lot of your B rolls too. That's something that I didn't see in a lot of web series. They didn't really put a lot of effort into the B rolls, like when artists is the actors are walking away. I like how you stop the camera and allow them to walk, and then you hit them back coming forward. It was little things like that that I saw that I truly appreciate. So can you give us like a little teaser about what we're looking forward to and the characters coming this season three, what you may have in mind? Come on, come on. I know you got me. I'm a junkie
Can't
here.
I
Let's
can't do
go.
it. I just can't do it. I can't do it yet because it's going to be. I gotta. I think I got better in writing. I studied a lot about writing this time, so it's going to be a lot of good twists and turns. If you think season two had twists and turns, then season three is going to be a problem.
Yes, and I can't wait. And shout out to everybody, all the cast, production team, and everything from New York Minute. Salute to y'all. I truly appreciate your craft, your skills, your craftsmanship, or whatever they call it in the acting world. I got y'all, and I will be tuning in. Yes, so um we jumped into New York Minute, but I still wanted to talk about Sean Price now. We talked about Prodigy. I want to talk about Sean Price. Can you describe your relationship, how it started and what it was like during until up until, his demise?
So basically, we have a mutual friend, JD, and Sean know JD. I know JD from when I first came home, and JD was like, "Yo, you and Illa should do a song together." And he, Sean didn't like me at first, and his response was, "Who to hold you down, nigga?" He was like, "I don't think I'm gonna like him because his face looked like it's on all the time." So and then I
Yours too, though. Wait, before you go on, yours too, because the picture that me and you took together, you got that face like if I farted next to you, like you ain't, I'm like, I was looking back at that picture, like, did I do something to the nigga, like, But yeah, you got that face too. You be mean mugging. What is that?
I know it's a natural scowl. The mother side of my family have that. Everybody in the family has that face. I can't do it. It's a natural scowl. I don't mean to scowl, but it is what it is.
So go ahead, talk about
So on my side of things, I seen a article. I forgot what magazine was saying me and Sean Price have similar styles. I don't think so. I think we sound totally different. So we went. We was used to go to the same studio on 30th Street. Excuse me. And once I seen her, I was like, "Yo, we should do a song together." And he was like, "Let's do it." So finally caught up, and we did. Um, what Price to Be Illa was the first song we did together. And after that, it wasn't no, kumbaya. We just, after a while, we just started becoming cool and, started going to the studio together and then just started talking about different things and laugh about silly shit. And it became my bro.
Yes. Now, I had the wonderful opportunity to interview Rockness Monster as well as Bernadette. And I interviewed Rockness twice, but the second time he came with Bernadette, and we was able to really pay Sean Price a tribute. Those that are watching, I'll put the link in the description so you can check that old interview out. It's a few years ago. And one of the things that I appreciate that I didn't know, and I didn't get the chance to meet him at all. He was already gone before I even started doing live at radio, and they made it, um, they made it evident that there was a difference between Sean Price and Ruck.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you ever meet Ruck and Sean Price? Can you explain through your perspective what was the difference and what side of him do you appreciate more?
Well, I never met Ruck. I never met Ruck. Ruck is the Decepticon. Sean Price is after. Sean Price is after he reinvented himself. So I met the reinvented, Ruck.
Yeah. Did you hear like stories or anything like that? And if so, do you appreciate that you met Sean Price as opposed to Ruck?
I mean, it probably would have been cool either way. We knew a lot of the same people. You know, they lived practically in the same neighborhood as my cousin did. So I just don't really blurt out who I know. I'm that type of person. But I mean, I appreciate getting to know Sean because Sean was a genius in his own right. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. He was just a cool. He just liked to have fun. I appreciate people that laugh. Because a lot of things, too many things that you don't want to laugh at. But when you can find the joy in it and a space for you that'll make you laugh, so do it.
Yes. Can you share a funny moment since you says he liked to laugh? And shout out to Bernadette and shout out to young Sean as well. You know, they show me nothing but love. Like from the moment I met them, this is just the opportunity to shout them out. I was just at the Sean Price legacy concert at SOB's. You performed there that night as well. I was just there, and every time I'm around them, it's like family. Like that's my family. Like you see, I had to sport it today. And next time when I'm out and about, I'm gonna have your T-shirt too, doing my little fancy pictures and shit. You better post it too. But anyway, so I just want to take a moment to shout out Bernadette, shout out to Rockness, shout out to young Sean. Y'all my family, y'all my Brooklyn family. Y'all show me nothing but love every time y'all see me in any kind of building. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to, salute y'all. Y'all will always be my family in my heart. Y'all my Brooklyn family. But anyway, so can you share a funny story or anything like that that'll really show people's personality? Because you have a lot of people that may be even younger than me that's just now getting to know who Sean Price was after him passing. So can you give us a little story so we could be more familiar with his spirit?
I mean, I think Sean was at his funniest, like at shows, and Sean would not take a picture with female artists. I mean, not female artists, just female fans. And
Yeah, because Bernie wasn't having that shit. Now let me stop.
I think that shit was the most funniest thing ever because he would take a picture with the dude and then be like my wife and he used to yell out, "No!" and then walk away. I literally be in tears the whole time he did it. Every time he did it, and I would be screaming.
See, a lot of y'all dudes need to take a memo from Rug Sean Price because y'all be mad hoish out there. Like, I don't appreciate that. But
It's
at
a
the
picture.
same
What are you
time,
talking about?
huh?
It's a picture. It's just a picture.
I mean, I get that, but I see the clout chase. I see the lengths some women go through, which makes it hard for women like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an ugly chick. I think I'm attractive, but when I'm in these spaces, I don't give it up like that. I don't even have that's not even my mind frame. That's not even my mindset. Especially me doing live ed. I go to these places to first and foremost, enjoy the music because I'm such a hip hop head. To enjoy the atmosphere of it all, just grateful that I'm even in the building. And three, network, because I have a platform and different things like that. So when you have, because like I said, I ain't ugly and shit, and I make sure I step out. But like the same time, my mind is not there. So when you have groupies and bitches throwing pussy, it makes it hard for
And
women
who
like
says
me
they were?
to
Who
be
said they
taken
were?
serious.
Who said they were groupies? They just wanted a picture. I don't know what type
A
of thing he had
picture
on,
can
but he was
turn
just like,
into listen, a picture could turn into okay, and then your hand starts wandering, and then the next thing you know, you stalking me, and I'm having
really?
problems at home.
Well, I never did it. So a picture is a picture to me. It's just a picture. Nothing crazy.
Well, I really appreciate Sean for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I told myself I would never, I used to think all rappers were greasy. And I'm sorry if any rappers see this and they watching me right now and y'all really feel some type of way, may not do an interview with me. But I made that a rule. Like I'm not dating no rappers. I'm not doing none of that shit because I see firsthand what the fuck be happening and how bitches do be thirsty. But like I said, it makes me because now a lot of artists, their wives and shit be managers and shit like that. And so you looking at me thinking I'm trying to fuck your man, and I'm not. I just want him to come on my show or
Well,
do something.
they have a lot of growing up to do because I don't see it like that. Unless you say something crazy to me, I don't see it. If it's a picture, it's just a picture. Nobody's hand is wandering. Just because I take a picture or like a picture of yours doesn't mean I want you. It's just a picture.
Well, I appreciate that. We need more artists like you and Sean Price. We need like a good balance of it all because I mean you don't feel like that. But let's keep it real. You have a lot of these dudes out here that they need to
Yeah, because they're probably in their younger years they didn't have really.
older too. Don't be
Yeah,
no.
older. I mean, a lot of dudes never dealt with women. You know, I didn't have that problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't have that problem because trust me, it could be a headache. I mean, it's a headache for me on the other side of the situation because bitch, I don't
Because
want your man.
you allow it to be a headache. It don't have to be a headache.
Mm, that's true. It's the things that you accept or pay attention to.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. See, I get it. And a lot of that stuff, what I appreciate a lot of the things you so deep with it, it goes over a lot of people's heads. Like even with the episode of New York Minute, that shit went all the way over my head, and I'm like, I'm all in my feelings. Like you really had me in my feelings with that episode.
My
And
man wife stopped talking to me behind that episode
why?
because her favorite character is Deuce. So in
Mm,
that episode when Deuce got shot, he he literally told me she jumped up and was like, "Cut that shit off." And he was
wow.
like, "Babe, let's finish what." She was like, "No, cut that shit off." And she was like, "Tell G that he played too much, and he's no longer allowed in my house." And I thought he was joking. He was like, "No, she's serious." They
Well, that's
didn't
the
watch the
evidence of you
episode. They
being
didn't
a
watch
good
the
writer.
episode till about. They didn't watch. They didn't complete the episode till probably a year later.
Mm. Well, that's evidence of you being a great writer. You want to be able to catch capture the emotions of the audience. Like I want to be in my feelings. I want to have some type of emotional connection to these characters and shit like that. Like even down to the villains. Like I want to be mad at somebody when I'm looking at, and you're supposed to be the villain,
Yeah.
then be the fucking villain. Like make me mad at you. Like I want to be mad. I want to throw shit at my TV. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
replace my flat screen because I played myself. And that's a tribute to good acting as well as good writing. You know, you're evoking emotion. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fire.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so moving forward, like, is there any other projects or anything you would like to work on outside of web series and different things like that?
I'm thinking about I probably I want to do radio or XM radio something like I want to be a host of a radio show or something like that. Like that, yeah, that I want to do.
Me too. Me too. But do you feel like you will get I think you will get censored a little bit. You don't
Uh,
think so?
if that's what you looking forward to, then it'll happen. If you don't think you'll be censored, then you won't be censored.
Oh, because that's my next level. Like that's what I'm working towards too. I do want to be on XFM radio, but I feel like they're gonna censor me because of the
Because
way
you
I
keep
think
saying
of
you
me
put
being
that
a
in the air.
conspiracy theorist.
If you put that in the air, then they're gonna censor you.
That's true.
Stop saying it.
Yep. I am gonna stop saying
Yeah,
that.
you putting something that you fear in your face, like you saying it out loud.
I mean, I don't fear it,
If you're
but I
saying
just
that you fear it,
huh?
if you're saying that you fear it, because that's a fear. Oh, I think they're gonna censor me. Don't do that.
Okay. I
You're
won't.
basically crippling yourself before it even began.
I appreciate that. Yes. Now, outside of that, what I've noticed too, looking at your albums and your mixtapes, you were never really signed to a label, were you?
No.
So why you feel like that never happened for you?
Well, I was in talks with two different labels at one time, and one of them offended me, so I told them to kiss my ass. That's not what I said. I said something else, but and the other one, it was just like, I'm not gonna keep running back and forth with the whole situation. So that's what happened.
But you had to have some type of deal to even release the music. So what was that? 'Cause I
No,
know I was no,
you know,
you don't.
you don't have to have a deal to release music. No, that's why you call independent. Especially the way things now with streaming sites where you put your own music up. You don't need a deal to put out music.
But like your earlier work though, what about
Yeah,
your earlier work?
I didn't have a deal. I was doing that from like a couple years home from jail.
So what is that distribution? Like
Yeah,
you okay, so
yeah,
you hook
digital
up with a
distribution.
distribution company to
Yeah,
release the music?
digital distribution. Yes.
Okay. Because I was trying to figure, because when I was looking at it too, a lot of them were different. I think you did it. I think you did two companies for. I think you did the same company for two different projects, but then like everything else were like always different and stuff like that. And it's good information to know because a lot of people, especially the younger artists outside of the streaming services, they are looking for that, how to distribute my music and stuff like that. What comes with that? Like if they just released the music. What is it? Promotion involved? How does
No,
that work?
you have to handle your own promotion. They just release the music and make sure it's on all streaming platforms.
Well, that's good to know. And shout out to all the newcomers out there working. There's no sound. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, because somebody's saying that there was no sound. So I don't know. It's maybe you, sweetheart. Maybe you. Check your
Check
sound.
the microphone.
Yeah, check your microphone because we rocking. I could hear him, and I know he hears me the way he responds. But shout out to everybody in the building. Before we move forward, please like, subscribe, and share this amazing interview. We are learning a lot of things about this legend Illa Ghee up in the building. So please like, subscribe, comment underneath it. Let me know how you feel about it. Yeah. So what I want outside of the distribution deal, well, no lack of, well, the only thing is distribution deals. Do you feel like the streaming service, because you have people like Drez from Black Sheep, they are suing a lot of these streaming companies because they feel like they're not getting they just due. Do you feel like, you know, the
Well,
music that you put up, because you got classic hits with Alchemist and everything. So do you feel like you're not getting your just due when it comes to artists and the income they're making from streaming services?
well, Drez is a whole different situation because he's speaking from an artist who was signed, and the contract that they signed then, streamings didn't exist. So now that streaming is, there was no litigation for that. So now, since they have to get paid for all the past work that's been now streamed, because that wasn't part of the thing. So they shouldn't get paid for it without the artist getting paid for it. But other than that, I mean, streaming period, we should get a lot more money for streaming than what they paying. Like, I don't understand what is pretty much less than a penny for a stream. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like even when I used to hear people getting what the fuck is half a penny? What they do? They cut it in half and they give it
Yeah, I
to
don't
you.
even I don't understand that, and I don't know who came up with that description,
Yeah.
that chart. So
Yes, and I think now that we're celebrating the 50 years in hip hop, we're gonna get to that after this. I think they have to figure it out. You have organizations now like Hip Hop Alliance. Shout out to Curtis Blow and Karis One doing that. I think there's some other thing called Hip Hop something where they are trying to collect money for artists, where if an artist goes broke, they be able to have something to sit on. God forbid something happens to an artist, they could get buried. Do you think something like that is needed moving forward, especially with the pioneers of the culture?
sure, if they can do it, more power to them. I think it would be dope.
Yeah. So now that we are celebrating 50 years of hip hop, can you talk about the evolution that you witnessed of the culture, and do you feel like it's going in the right direction?
It's moving. Um, I remember my cousin having tapes that was made in whatever is going on, of these parties, so on and so forth, and um, you need to check out the forefathers of hip hop. That is a thing that'll let you know, because hip hop is more than 50. Maybe the term hip hop is 50, but the culture of it been here way longer than 50 years.
Thank you. You know how many times I got cursed out? And I think when I went to Cedric Block Party and motherfuckers saw me in the crowd, they wanted to get Buck on stage and want to be like, no matter what nobody say, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, but that's cat. I was screaming in the crowd, that's cat. But I was still enjoying the music. And I say that a lot too. I know, I'm getting all crazy right now, but I talk about that a lot, and I feel like a lot of people should be celebrating more, be celebrated more. And there's a lot of people like Disco King Mario. I think right now, since people are celebrating the 50 years, they need to talk about that. I even interviewed Cool Roski, and he alluded to that without saying so much. And I think a lot of people bite their tongue and don't give it out raw because they're worried about, repercussions, or, not being able to get opportunities if they was to come out and speak about certain things or whatever. Because I know a lot of people in Brooklyn, would even argue that it started in Brooklyn. There's a lot of different stories.
It did start at Grandmaster Flowers.
Let's talk about it. See, I like you. You bold. I like you know, cause motherfuckers be dancing. You ain't dancing. But go ahead. Let's get it.
Yeah, Grandmaster Flowers. If you covered a record, some people were like, "Oh, Flowers played disco." No, disco wasn't out in the '60s. Flowers used from Farragut, Brooklyn houses. Used to bring in. He was from the islands, and he used to bring his music outside and play it outside. And if you cover the record so nobody can see the record, and you're not playing the hit side of the record, you're playing the groove on the record on two turntables. That is pretty much hip hop. It's just the term hip hop. It wasn't called hip hop then. Then you had Queens with DJ Charles, which wasn't a DJ, but was from the islands, and he used to bring this equipment outside. Queens used to battle with sound and all that other stuff. You had
With
the
the
DJs
twins,
in
with the
Brooklyn.
twins, right? The
Yes,
twins.
yeah, the twins, and you had Fab Pop Freddy and all that other stuff in Brooklyn. So, you know, like they said if you look at the forefathers of hip hop on YouTube, Fab Pop Freddy, these are the people that influenced the people that created the term hip hop.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that. And I be, you know, because I could, you know, be I could be crazy on social media sometimes. Like I argue a lot with Talib Kweli and shit like that. Like I'm always talking my shit. But one of the things that I will always say too, I hate the fact that people say it's a father. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from Cool Herc or nothing at all. I really not. But it's not one thing, especially when it's documented that you talk about a lot of the things in the culture, like the graffiti, like the way people wore their clothes, the dialogue, just everything about it were already here when you came here. So to grant you, one thing I do want to say, shout out to Grandmaster Caz, because one of the things that he was saying during these block parties and performance is he made it clear the first documented, not saying the first ever, but the first documented. Now that
Hmm.
I could respect. Like, all right, you probably had a flyer now. Now it's a little bit more organized. Okay, fine. But the culture in itself always been here. If anything, is New York culture. But go ahead if you want to elaborate more.
No, that's it. That's what I feel, and that's it. Like I said, if you check out that for those that watching this, check out the forefathers of hip hop on YouTube.
Yes, and also there's another documentary too that talks about another park in the Bronx where they was having the block parties. I mean the park jams and stuff like that. And that the 1520s, that wasn't the first back to school shit. I just had to put that out there. But
Mhm.
we can move forward because I don't want you to get no backlash or no smoke, coming
I
out
don't care.
here.
I don't care about none of that.
Oh, okay, good. Because I don't give a shit either. But I try to respect other people's stuff. But that's what it is. So having that, now they're saying that they're trying to stop hip hop. They're not gonna invest in hip hop anymore. You have a lot of people from, like, I think Ebro or Rosenberg, one of these fucktards, they took to their social media and they said that the music industry is no longer signing artists and stuff like that. And when I it kind of gave me a light bulb about Prodigy when after Rifkin sold off to Sony, and they were saying that they weren't looking for the street content like that no more. They wasn't investing in the street content anymore, and they felt Mobb Deep felt like they were in limbo after Rifkin sold them off to Sony. Do you feel like that thing is kind of happening now, but with the entire culture? And what would hip hop look like if record execs and radio head station heads and stuff like that is making it a point not to put out that music?
Well, that's just them. Hip hop always been here. When you're signed, that's rap. Hip hop is the culture, rap is the business. So if that's not what they want to do, hip hop has always been here. It's never changed. You're just gonna have to search and find your favorite artists. You know what I'm saying? Or people gonna have to learn and take things on their own. That's it. No more, no less. Either you take control of the culture and do it yourself, or it's going to be for the everybody that was signed. You're going to have to get to it and drag your fan base and, treat it as a label yourself. Like most of us underground artists been doing. So for all the fans, you're gonna have to search for your favorite artists and really support them because
and go to these underground events because they be lit. I'm sorry, but they be lit. I'll be lit. I'll be having a good time. And shout out to Rockin' This Monster, bringing him back up again, because that's one of the things that I asked him. I think one of my first interviews I did with him, I asked him that shit. I'm like, do you feel like hip hop is dead? And that's around the time, a lot of people were saying that. I think Nas came out with it. And that used to be one of the questions that I would ask all the legends. Do you feel like hip hop is dead? Just like I will ask, what made you fall in love with hip hop? And I'm going to ask you that after. And I asked him that shit. And I'm like, do you think hip hop is dead? He was like, hip hop on the radio is dead. Hip hop on the streets, that's where it was born. That's where it lives. And I'm like, that's a whole fact. Like, because I know a lot of people complain about the so-called mumble rappers and shit like that. But when I go to these events, showcases and stuff like that, you hear bars, you hear production, you hear the beats, all the stuff that people will complain about. It's actually in the streets still. Like, y'all missing out on great opportunities with dope artists. Like, I'm sorry, but I hear dope hip hop music all the time. What are your thoughts?
I said it. Hip hop is always in it. You're gonna have to search for it. Hip hop ain't never going nowhere.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, what was the song or thing that made you fall in love with hip hop?
Well, seeing my cousin do it. My cousin used to build his own turntables and, DJ and hearing all the, people putting words together that rhymed and giving a style to it. And that's what made me do it. Just watching them do it. My cousin and my brother and them.
Yes. Now, I stopped asking this question, but I'm going to ask you, who's your top 5 dead or alive? But it can't be the typical hip hop Mount Rushmore people always say. Like, you can't.
As far as me, I'm an MC type of person, so I'm gonna lean toward more MC people. But really, as far as top 5 is Cool G Rap, Cool G Rap, Cool G Rap, Cool G Rap, and Cool G Rap.
I like Cool G Rap too. I gotta talk to him too. I gotta have him on here because I got a lot of questions I gotta ask him. Now I'm gonna be a little messy. I mean, you could decline if you want to, but who's your bottom 3 that you feel like should have never touched the mic?
Too many.
You don't want to name a 3?
Too many.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Well, I'm not going to hold you. 111 is a divine number. And, I want to have many more opportunities to have a conversation with you. You got to come back so we could do this again. But is there anything that you would like to say before we leave this interview?
IllaGhee.net is the website. Get the music, get the merch. You know what I'm saying? Comfort, buy a t-shirt, buy the music. That's it. You know what I'm saying? IllaGhee.net. It's where hip hop meets comfort. Be comfortable in the clothes.
And can you tell everybody where they could find you if they were living under a rock?
At IllaGhee2K on Instagram. IllaGhee2K TikTok on TikTok. I pretty much just give positive messages on TikTok and all famously IllaGhee.net.
And you need to write me in season 3. Don't make me pull up to Sumner, okay? Don't make me pull up to Sumner, Bogart my way in the shot, because I will. I definitely will.
Well, we'll have to figure it out. We got to see what your acting skills is like. I'm being more serious, like, I made a couple mistakes of just putting people in there and not see how they act. So.
Oh, I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. I'm so serious. Like, it's not even a word of how serious I am. I know I could be funny and shit, but look.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know.
You don't see that though.
I don't know what that facial expression was.
Hold up.
I seen it. Oh, okay. So you just wipe the smile off your face.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't play. Like, you could give me anything. I could play. So, just keep me in my if there's castings, let me know. Hit me in my DM because I want to pull up. I want to be in a website. I want to be in your website. So I feel like it's worth it. And shout out to you. And much as I know, I'm playing, but I'm dead serious at the same time. So I will be stalking you about my part. Don't play with me because I am persistent. But thank you. But thank you so much. Like I really appreciate everything that you do for the culture. All jokes aside, seriously. I appreciate you as an artist and as a person. Like you kept your word. You have dope energy. When I met you, you have dope energy on stage, and I want to see more coming out of you. I know you're gonna go even beyond just the web series as well. And I
Yeah,
can't wait to see what else you have in store for us. And salute to you, for being a part of
thank
the
you.
culture. Yeah.
Much appreciated. My Just so you know, my next project I'm working on is called Psychedelic Contraband.
Okay, you gotta explain that shit before you leave. Can you explain that?
A psychedelic contraband. Just imagine being like psychedelic, where you see things and it's deadly. It's a contraband. It's just things that you shouldn't have. A thought, like a crazy thought that you shouldn't have, but you will.
Yes, yes. I have a lot of that. I be trying to like lock it in my mind, but then I see like stupid shit that triggers me and I just throw up everywhere. And then now people be like, I'm offensive or, you know, I shouldn't say that or, stuff like that. But I think a lot of things should be said. Like motherfuckers is walking around here pussified. And I don't get it. Like, matter of fact, this is the last. Where do you feel like people got so sensitive? Like, because we come from New York, my nigga. Like, we say what we say, we do what we do. When did the world get so pussified?
I don't know. It's part of the government, but I don't care. I say what I want to say. I don't
Me
care who get
too.
offended. I don't care who get offended. So
Me neither.
if they wanna be a bitch about it, get a helmet.
Right? And go run into the wall like 20 times. But thank, but thank you so much, Illa G. And I'm definitely gonna keep in touch with you. We definitely the fam now. And if you don't want to be the fam, it's too bad because you stuck with me now. Okay.
Yes, I've heard that before. My homegirl told me that before too. So
Oh, I'm a pro. Oh, you trying me? You
no,
want me to prove it?
I'm not trying. Definitely not trying.
Oh, okay, okay, because I show approve. Don't make me come to something and show out. Like I swear to
Mhm.
God, it'll be on out there.
Yeah, I understand. I see it.
Like I understand. This was fun, and I love your sense of humor as well. But yeah, definitely see you on the next time.
All right, much appreciated. Salute to everything. Salute to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, salute to you too. Yeah, you guys, energy in the building. It don't get no sweeter than that. A lot of gems was definitely being dropped. A lot of stuff that I didn't even hear, because I felt like, and this ain't no shade to nobody else, but I felt like a lot of motherfuckers wasn't even asking Illa G about Illa G. Like I'm sitting here doing my research, trying to find, and like everybody asking him about other shit other than Illa G. So I'm glad that he took the time out of his dope ass life to come to Live at Radio and share his life story with us. We got to really touch on who Illa G really is. And I really feel like I really know him better now, beyond the music, beyond the culture, beyond circumstances, and beyond associated with other people. Even though I had to ask him certain things because, it is mandatory. All right, cool. But I wanted to know the man behind the legend. I wanted to know the man behind the music. And I think I got a good, great dose of that. Shout out to the mathematical G. I know I'm saying it wrong. And please don't hurt me, Illa G. But he's definitely scientific with those bars. And that was today's math. I hope you like how I spin that. Shout out to the new season of New York Men and all the actors and actresses that really be doing their thing. And shout out to you. Shout out to all of y'all commenting in the section. Y'all have my comment section lit. Shout out to everybody that was watching. And if you haven't done it already, it will really help out the channel. If you really fuck with me, Cha Cha Mystique, please hit that like, subscribe, subscribe and share button. Share this to everybody because I think the real true stories of hip hop are truly told by us and need to be told by us and share with the world. Because if Vlad had it, you be sharing it. If all these other fucking snitching ass hosts had shit, y'all be sharing they shit. So share my shit. Share now, goddammit. Hit that like shit. Hit that subscribe. And I want to see you next time. Don't play with me because I will fucking pull up. You know I pull up. My pull-up game is impeccable. Don't make me stalk you for my motherfucking likes because I will do it. And with that being said, peace and blessings, family. I love you guys. And I see y'all next time. Oh, shit. I didn't even have my shit together. All right. Now I see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and share. But most importantly, subscribe and hit that notification bell. ChaChaLive.media. Let's get it.